Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Scher, and that's Robert Harding, and this is the Citizen Sports Weekly Pick 6 video for Friday, November 21st, 2014, aka Week 12 of the 2014 NFL season. I know, long intro, huh?
No, you did it quick.
I didn't even take a breath.
We're going to start calling you Chris Rapid Fire.
There we go. I was a very fast talker when I was young. I had to get speech therapy. I talk so fast. I don't know if you remember the FedEx commercials from the 70s and the 80s.
This is quite the revelation.
They had this guy who could talk really fast. Well, I can talk like that if I really want to. I mean, it may be tough to understand me sometimes, but I can talk really fast. Like, I don't know how many words a minute, but I can talk really fast when I want to. So there you go. Entertaining video so far, isn't it, folks?
An in-depth look at Chris Scher.
So we're going to pick 6 games. And before we get to the games for this week, we're going to have a quick look back at last week where Robert and I were each 3-3, which, considering how crazy the NFL was last week, we'll take 3-3.
Yeah, you hold your nose and you take that.
Oh my God, it was the You Pick 'em challenge. I was 7 for 14, and I don't think I've ever been so happier to finish at 500 in all my life. So, anyways, standing so far for the season, I am 44-22, and Robert is 37-29. So the 7-game lead holds. We'll see if Robert can make it up this week. He picked the games this week. Our first game is I guess you call it the relocation.
Yeah.
Our Blizzard Bowl.
Blizzard Bowl.
The Bills versus the Jets in wonderful Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. And nice of Detroit to step up and be able to host this game on short notice.
Absolutely.
So, that being said, who do I like? Well, you know something? You would want to pick the Jets in this game. The Jets, obviously, I believe they won their last game, didn't
Pittsburgh,
they?
yeah.
They beat Pittsburgh. They're well rested.
Coming off a bye.
They're coming off a bye, yep. The Bills, it's been a crazy week. I mean, they played last Thursday, so they've had plenty of time. But obviously their life's been disrupted. They haven't had, I think tonight was their first real practice of the week. So you think you'd pick the Jets. No, I'm picking the Bills.
Wow.
I'm picking the Bills because I think that the Bills, they know how people in Buffalo are suffering. People in Western New York, and Cheektowaga, and Lancaster, and Orchard Park, and Hamburg have been hammered by snow. And those Buffalo Bills, they want to do something to help their fans feel a little bit better about themselves, at least for a few hours. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills to beat the New York Jets.
Yeah, me too. I think despite the inability to practice, which this snowstorm was massive. We won't get into a discussion about weather, but
yeah.
I mean, being a Western New York guy, this is a lot of snow.
Yeah, a lot of snow. And me being a Central New York guy where we got about 40 inches of snow, the blizzard of 93, I mean, that's nothing compared to this. This is 60, 70 inches of snow. I mean, this is, we have people dying. And that's the thing we have to remember about all this. These are football games. The players can be inconvenienced. The coaches can be inconvenienced. It doesn't matter. People are dying. And that's what, obviously, the people who are fighting to get through this, to survive, get back to their day-to-day lives, that's what counts first. So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and in terms of the game, like you were saying, I think the Bills will want to go out there. Obviously, by Monday, the snow isn't going to be gone. And there's flooding concerns,
yep.
And they want to give their fans, a reason to, take a break, spend a few hours watching some football, and hopefully they pull it out, and I think they will.
Okay. Next game, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Houston Texans. Bengals, they're 6-3. They're 6-3-1, I should say, and they are in first place barely in the wild AFC North, where everybody is in it. Seems like everybody's 6-4, 6-3-1. I mean, this is an amazing division. I was even joking. I could see everybody finishing 10-6.
Yeah. Sad thing is, one of them won't be able to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
At least one.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And the Texans, quietly, they're 5-5. Mm-hmm. They're playing some good football right now.
Ryan Mallett.
J.J. Watt, and that is why I'm picking the Texans. I think J.J. Watt has another great game. And, Cincinnati, they went in to New Orleans, and they played a great game. But, this is their second straight week on the road, and I just have this thing about back-to-back road games. I think it catches up to you. Call me crazy. This is gut speaking. Going with the Texans.
I'm picking the Bengals. I think, I think we were going back a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, I don't know. It's all blending together, but...
What a long, strange trip it's been.
But, when the Bengals went into New Orleans and beat the Saints, I thought that was kind of a big moment for them because, I think we were both wondering, what's up with this team? we thought they were going to be really good, and then they got into that
Yep.
funk, and then they go into New Orleans and beat the Saints in the Superdome. And I think that'll be a point at which this team kind of turns around, gets back to playing great football, and I think they'll go into Houston and beat the Texans.
Next game, the Cleveland Browns of that aforementioned AFC North at the Atlanta Falcons. Interesting game here. Atlanta, people were writing their demise and being in that weak NFC South. All of a sudden, they're alive, man. I mean, they could win this thing and maybe make the playoffs.
Division lead.
And they're playing at home, and that's why I like them in this game. Cleveland has been inconsistent. I know Josh Gordon's back, I believe, in this game.
Yep.
And I think he'll be a little rusty. I don't know, but I like it. I just think Atlanta's a better team on paper, has more potential. They're playing at home, and I like the Falcons in this game.
Taking the Browns.
You're taking the Browns, all right.
I was hoping you were going to pick the Browns here.
Why?
Because then we wouldn't have an opposite picks.
Oh, okay.
I got to make sure. I want to get ahead, but I don't want to fall behind.
Yeah.
But I'm still picking the Browns. I think with Gordon coming back, him and Hoyer have a pretty good connection. I think the Browns, they're going to want to bounce back after that loss last week, I believe it was. And, the Falcons, I mean, the problem with the NFC South is that you never know when these teams are going to show up.
Yeah.
The Falcons could very well show up this week and beat the Browns, but, as weak as that division is, I think it's safe to go with the Browns in this one.
Okay. Next game, and this is the one I'm waiting for, folks. My Miami Dolphins at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos have lost 2 in a row. They lost to the Rams. My buddy Dave Coleman, the Rams fan, had to be pretty excited after that one. But you know something, Dave? I think your Rams might have riled up the Broncos. Now, I would say on paper, but conceivably Miami could win this game. I mean, look, Miami's got a great defense, and they're playing pretty darn good, as Robert knows by that game against the Bills there. I mean, they've only allowed, I believe, 9 points? No, not even. I'm sorry. They've only allowed like 55 points in their last 5 games.
One of the best fantasy defenses out there.
Yeah, but I'm in reality, man. I don't care about that fantasy stuff.
But reality translates into fantasy success.
Yeah, a little bit, but still, I don't play fantasy, man. I'm the only person who does not play fantasy. So, here's where the game is going to be decided, in my opinion. Can Miami's offense put enough points on the board to hang in there? Because I think Miami's defense is going to hold Peyton Manning under 30 points. I believe the Broncos have not scored less than 30 points in any of their home games this season. I think they're averaging about 35 points a game in Denver. So the question is, can Miami's defense just put the brakes on Peyton Manning? And the Broncos are banged up on offense. Although I think some of their stars that were supposed to be out may be coming back, They may only be missing Monty Ball. And I didn't think the Broncos are going to run the ball much anyways. But can Miami just put the brakes on Peyton Manning? And I think they can. I think they can hold them to between 20 to 28 points. But that means Miami's got to score 30. I don't like Miami's chances of scoring 30. Now the spread is 7. I think Miami can cover. I think this is going to be like a 28 to 24 game. I think Miami can score some points, but they can't. They just don't have the. I hate to say it, but Ryan Tannehill is not anywhere near the quarterback that Peyton Manning is, and that's going to be the difference in this game. As good as Miami's running game is, as great as Miami's defense is, as banged up as Denver is, and as bad as they've been playing, their offensive line has not been good. I just think that Denver's got a little bit more at the quarterback position, and that's going to be the difference in this game, and Denver's going to win it.
Yeah, picking the Broncos too.
Yep. Next game. Oh, this is a great one, folks. Cardinals at the Seahawks.
Game of the week.
This is the game that I believe last year the Cardinals were the only team that beat the Seahawks in Seattle.
Beat them. Yeah.
Now the Seahawks are having a lot of internal strife. This whole Marshawn Lynch, I'm not going to talk to the media thing and everything, and it's crazy. Seattle's not been playing well. Arizona's been playing great, but you know something? This is one of those games where I think you throw the records out the window. Seattle still has that incredible home field advantage. I think that last year's game left a bad taste in their mouth. They're going to want to avenge it. I think they put it together. They play a great game, and Arizona's not going to go 15-1. I'm sorry. They're going to lose another game or two, and this is one of the ones they're going to lose. I like the Seahawks.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
I knew it.
I think history will repeat itself.
All righty. Anything else?
Well,
yeah.
We talked about Drew Stanton a couple weeks ago. when he had to, after Carson Palmer went down, he took over the team. I thought he played okay, last week. I think he put up 300 yards, couple touchdowns, did throw a couple picks against a very good Detroit defense.
Yes, but at home. This is going to be a little bit
it was
different.
at home.
It's going to be loud.
It's going to be loud.
Could be raining.
Could be raining.
Or snowing.
But, I think this year, in having watched Seattle a few times, Russell Wilson's had to carry the offense in a lot of games. Marshawn Lynch has contributed in a few of those, but he's had more weight on his shoulders this year. And the Cardinals' defense is tough.
Yeah.
And Seahawks' defense is tough too. But I think they've also shown some vulnerabilities this year. And there's just something about this game that sticks out to me and says I think Arizona can do it again.
Alrighty. Last game of the week here is the Baltimore Ravens at the New Orleans Saints, and of course the Saints are 4-6. I think you could say they're one of the biggest disappointments in the NFL so far this season.
Just a little.
They're back at home, and you never thought New Orleans could lose at home, but look at the Bengals did. They whooped them last week. But I think the Saints get back on track this week. I think they know that if they don't win this game, they're done. Even being in the weak NFC South, if they go 4-7. It's not looking good for them. I think it's a must-win for them. Baltimore, obviously 6-4, got a little more of a cushion. I like the Saints to bounce back and win this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it wasn't too long ago, oddly enough, that the Saints lit up the Packers at home in a primetime game, and so can they get back to that? The Ravens, very good team coming in. I think the Saints can get back on track here, and they need to. I mean. The reality is, if they keep losing, you're only allowing Atlanta and Carolina and even Tampa Bay to stick around. And so, they have to start winning at some point, and I think they'll do it this week.
Well, that's it, folks. We appreciate you watching. I think we had about at least 80 views on the video last week. I don't know whether it's because we put it up so early, because we did it on Wednesday, because the game was on the Dolphins-Bills was on Thursday. We don't usually pick the Thursday game, or maybe because it was Dolphins-Bills, or maybe because we just tweeted a living heck out of it. I think that was part of it, really. And we appreciate you watching. We really do. We know that your time is precious. You could watch a lot of different videos for your NFL picks, but we appreciate that you're watching our video. And please, continue to share the links. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.